Okay, I've got my little list of where the wiring goes to, so let's see if we can just go through them.
Well, I tended to carry on a bit here after a while, and it's probably not worth watching every little move I made here. But it did take a little while making sure that I used the right looms here and there, and I actually forgot to put on the azimuth cable on the first insulation, but I put that back on later on. As a side note, I now have over 200 subscribers, which is quite amazing. I'm quite flattered. I really hope that what I do is of interest to some people. It's mainly oriented towards the technicians out there who are into hi-fi and just need a little bit of help with whatever they're working on. I'm learning like everyone else. I've only been doing cassette decks now for about 6 months, but they're like any other piece of electronic gear. Just takes a bit of patience. Yeah, far too much time sometimes, but oh well, that's how it is. And I actually quite like cassette decks, even though they can be frustrating at times, and they're quite nice to work on. It's a mixture of mechanical and electronic, and that makes it good.
So what we have left is the head wires. Right, so mark these off. I seem to have, there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah, and what's left? 1x4 pin and 3 by red and white. Oh, well, I obviously didn't write it down very well. That's the trouble. But anyway, I think it's all good. That 3-way is for something else. One just there. I think. I mean, there's obviously a lot of wires from the front panel to go in yet too. So, which will probably go through here. All these wires, they always catch on stuff. Always stuff. It's just missing by a few millimeters. Ah, there we go. Oh, no, not quite. Almost. There you go. The trouble is these cables always catch on stuff. Okay. Well, it seems you've got to come in from the front but tilt it. Okay, so you obviously don't worry about the connectors first. You just put them in later. The main thing is to get this mechanism in, and you stick it in and tilt it slightly, and then it goes in and will sit behind. Okay, I've mounted it in. Now to put all those wires back in. It's not much use me saying wires go where. It's just a matter of keeping a good record of where they went. It's just a matter of doing that, that's all. And don't just pull wires out willy-nilly. It's sometimes hard to see what you're doing, but also because you can't actually see where your fingers are going. But you just do your best. Alright, pretty sure they're in the right spots. Now it's getting close to the front panel. Before we do that, there's a few wires to go here. You don't want to have to be trying to figure out exactly what you had in mind when you're writing it down. You need to just go, oh yeah, that goes there. So, let's hope I did better with the front panel. So the mechanism is in, it's all wired up. Now we get to the front panel, and that's going to be... Right, here we have the front panel. Hopefully my little diagram will work and I don't have too much trouble. There's quite a few wires hanging off this, quite a few. It's more awkward like this, but I've got to make sure that the front panel doesn't tip forward off the table. I'll put it here for the time being while I slowly decide where all these connectors go. I've got quite a few of them, a lot in fact. The boards have colour coding, but they're faded a lot, so let's hope they still work. That's a yellow, alright, we know where that goes. They all go through, the sponge will go through that hole there. Righto, fair enough. Well, I've got it back together. Unfortunately, there seems to be as many problems now as there was before, which is disappointing. I was hoping I'd get the mechanism running properly at least, so that and the fluorescent display, so that I could at least move on from there, but no, I'm afraid not. We can turn it on and it needs a new capstan belt. Unfortunately, the ones provided weren't the right type. Anyway, just briefly, the counter's not working. Very few of the buttons are doing anything. If we go fast forward, you've got to hold it in. Same with rewind. You've got to hold it in and play. It's wanting to start playing, but it doesn't. The main buttons actually do their job. They seem to be operative, which is good, but the mechanism isn't following suit. It could well be that with the playing that I haven't put something back together right, or the fact that they are the old belts, it's still not working properly, and that may even be why the counter isn't working, for all I know. The loose belt that's in there may be just not even turning. But the problem is to work on the mechanism again, I have to take it out. But if I want to try and diagnose what's going on mechanically, I need to set it out separately and have all of this still connected. That is quite a difficult thing, because the leads for the mechanism aren't long enough. They're quite short, they're only like that long, they only just make it onto the bottom board. So if I want to look at this mechanism outside, I need to extend those leads somehow. I'm not getting audio through the beast. The audio gets into the line input and up to the display, but with source selected it's not getting through to the output. So that's also disappointing. There is so much wrong with this. It's almost difficult to know where to begin. But once again, the two major things, turn it off now, two major things are why this mechanism is not playing properly. It could be the belts, because I didn't get the right kit and these are the old belts, or I might have put it back in correctly. I didn't think I did, but you never know. And the fact that you have to hold down the rewind and fast forward, or the play for that matter, means that perhaps the counter or take movement counter, wherever it is not operating, and so it just says, oh, I'm stopped, therefore I'll turn off. Maybe. So that and the display, so basically the same problems as before, even though I've spent quite a bit of time repairing the front panel, replacing the idler tyre, and greasing and oiling and checking the motors on the mechanism, all to no avail so far. I suspect I'm going to have to wait for another belt kit, so I'm not sure that there's any point in trying to get into that at the moment. Without a proper belt kit, maybe it's not worthwhile even having a look at. And in the meantime, I can think about how I can extend the cabling from it to the machine so that I can set it outside. So that basically means I'm back to looking at the fluorescent display.